Okay, so this is the first official lecture of the course, 1.1, Introduction to Programming. We'll be doing C# and Visual Studio. You'll see, probably you'll see why we have chosen those. Probably at some later stage you will see why we do those. But it's really helpful, especially for that fourth course that I've described. It's a lot easier to just go with those two as a combination than the other two. So lecture content: what software do you need? What is programming? Creating your first C# program. This is a long demo that will cover most of the lecture, and then we'll have a very short look at the homework, just so that you know what's out there. Okay, what software do you need? Google account. I've talked about this already. Windows 8.1 or Windows 10. So this is not a requirement for the first 3 courses. I strongly suggest that you do get it if it's not a big problem. Windows 7 is gonna work fine for now, but once we get to course number 4, module number 4, then it really doesn't work with Windows 7. Believe me, I've tried on my own laptop, and you can't get it to work the way I want to do in this course. So yes, Windows 10 is now in a free preview. So this computer has Windows 10 right now. It works nice. So you can try it if you feel a little bit more experimental. Visual Studio 2.13 or 2.15. 2.15 is in a preview, but it's you know, it works fine. So I have this here, and it works nicely. Visual Studio 2.13 as of month or a month and a half, Microsoft were very good to us and decided to make their product available for free, and not just some really cut out horrible Express version, but you know, your full Visual Studio 2.13 with everything that you want in there is available for free. So how to find those? Use Google. I won't be showing Windows 10 because you just need to type Windows 10 install, and you will get it for free, at least for the next 2 months or something, I think. But yeah, so let's go with Visual Studio 2.15 install and see what we get. So for Visual Studio, I want to say that this is it's pretty large. It's about 10 to 16 gigabytes, depends on how you set it up. It's quite large, but there is a reason for that. So you can do C#, C++ there. You can do HTML, JavaScript, CSS. You can do that Cordova thing that we discussed earlier as well. So a lot of features in there. If you want to go into programming, it's good. So yeah, you click here on the Get It Now, and then you have to log in and so on, create an account. But the install is very straightforward. So you just click next, install here. I don't want this horrible plugin or something, and you're pretty much done. If you want to go with Visual Studio 2.13, things are a bit different. So the version which is for you is Visual Studio 2.13 Community Edition. That's how it's called. This is available as of I think a month and a half, where they decided to make it free and not download from unreliable sources, let's call them, or having to get the Express version, which is not that good. Has anyone ever used Visual Studio? Visual Studio Express? Does Visual Studio Express have IntelliSense? Do you know? IntelliSense is the autocomplete on your functions. Sorry? It said it had. Okay, maybe, but I believe at some point, maybe 2012, did not have it, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. So go here, free Visual Studio. Okay, let's go to download. Yes, and you get everything that you need. So very quick as well. So that's about that. let's go on. What is programming? Computer programming is definition by Google, creating a sequence of instructions to enable the computer to do something. And that's something varies quite a lot. You can make games, you can make enterprise software, banking, finance, websites, or just a basic virus. Sorry, viruses. Yeah. So you can do anything that you want. You can program your fridge or refrigerator or your Hoover using a computer. So just anything that you can think of. So not anything that you can think of. I mean, it has limits, but it's a really helpful and useful tool. So let's talk a little bit about programming phases, and this is a bit more general. The next slide will be gaming phases. So game development. You will see that it's a bit more. So normally it goes like this. This is the part that concerns you. It's not graphic design, it's not publishing, marketing, and so on. You're developers, and these are the things that you normally have to go through. So define a task or a problem. It's normally given as a specification or a problem or something that you can read, and then define a task of it that you can solve with a computer. So plan your solution. This could take up to 1 minute or 30 seconds to a month, 2 months, and so on, where you have to really look into the problem and make your plan, see which platforms you're going to be using, see which algorithms you may need. A lot of time is given to creating your object-oriented structure. So this is something that we'll be doing at a later course, but having your course structures and objects is also not very easy to do. Some games could do even longer, like those AAA titles that GTA or Dota or any other game, League of Legends. Sorry, not to offend anyone, but yeah, all of those games probably had a lot longer planning phase. Then comes the writing the code, which is the thing that you'll be doing mostly. And after that, you can fix some errors. You can go back to writing some more code. You have to fix more errors and so on. It's like a vicious circle which ends only once when the application is ready. Okay, then we have game development phases. So these are a bit more because it's a more specific area, and because I can give you a bit more information about it, because this is what I work. So first you start with the game idea. Okay, there can be a game designer. This is what I do. So you come up with an idea, and then your team or someone else can make it, or someone else can give you an idea, like outsource an idea, and you can be just the developer who implements and who has the skills to do that. Because to be honest, if you're an indie developer, then there is you probably know and can do a lot of things, but most people are really good at one thing. So if you're good at game designing, you should probably stick with that and not try developing. If you're really good with game development, then it's very likely that your idea would not be as good as someone else's. Okay, then you need to write and obtain a GDD document. So GDD document is, as you can see, game design document. This is a very detailed description of your project. GDDs can vary again between 2 pages and maybe 500-600 pages if you want to be really concise. Most of them are not that long, because someone has to write them in 600 pages for a game that's in someone's head. Sometimes this guy would only like to talk to you and tell you what he wants, but it's always better to have a detailed document where everyone can refer to when they have a question. Because if you're leading a team of say 20-30 people, and you have to talk with every one of them about audio, graphic design, game development, some algorithms, some rules, some RNGs. Do all of you know what RNG is? Random number generator. So yeah, all of that. It's really good to be in some detailed document. So you will probably get something similar on your exams, where I give you GDD and you have to implement what you see on that document. But it's gonna be short, maybe just a couple of pages. Depends how good you are and how bad I want to be when I give you the exam, but normally it's not going to be more than a couple of pages. Okay, so then you have concept art if applicable. So some games have concept art, some of them don't. Like you don't need concept art for 2048 or Snake or something like that. But there are games in which the concept art stage could take very, very, very long. And there is a game that I know called Alice Madness Returns. Have you heard of this? So Alice Madness Returns. So this one, I believe the concept art stage was a year or a year and a half. We just get 10 artists somewhere and they just draw. That's all thing that there is to it. You have the story of the game and everyone have to write how is Alice gonna look, how is the cat gonna look, all of the characters, all of the levels, all of the worlds. So just a lot of drawing of concept art so that later on the graphic designers can do their job and actually work with the concept art. So to be honest, I didn't like the gameplay of the second game. It was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. The sound was amazing, and I was happy just walking around and looking around. But the gameplay was really bad. If you wanna play, or if you're interested in this game, play the first one first. It's an old game. It's probably 10 years old, but the gameplay there was awesome. Has anyone played the first one, American McGee's Alice? This one? No one? One per person. Yeah. Did you like it? Did you like? Yeah. But the second one was really beautiful. Yeah. So we can agree on that. So yeah, concept art is not necessary, but sometimes it can be a large portion of the game development. So then you have graphic design. Obviously, you have development, you have testing, you have deployment, and marketing should not be there, but I just put it there because for a game, the marketing is probably just as important as the whole development process. You can be making the most awesome game in the world, whether it will be a 3D game or a 2D game or just an app or just Flappy Bird or something. You will need some sort of marketing, and without it your game is a lot less likely to succeed. So yeah, it's really important. That's why later on we will have a course on that, because you cannot do everything yourself. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Any questions at half of the lecture? No? What is C#? So we'll be coding with C#. It's a new cutting-edge language, extremely powerful, easy to learn, read and understand. It's object-oriented, and for us the most important thing is that it is used in Unity 3D. So we could be learning C++, which is used in Unreal, but that's how we decided to do this course, because different people, different preferences. But if you see the new Unity 5, it has some really amazing demos, and it works really well. And I believe it's a bit simpler also than the Unreal Engine to work with. So we want to get you into game making as soon as possible. Okay, what is Visual Studio? Visual Studio is an integrated development environment, or IDE. For those of you who don't know what IDE is, imagine a software where you can code. That's as simple as it can be explained. So, but this software can have a lot of features that can help you. So this one specifically is very helpful to us when we write the code, design the user interface, compile the code, execute, test and debug. I believe as of Visual Studio 2013, when you debug, for those of you who know what that is, when you debug, you can go a step back. Did you know this? Yes, it's quite an awesome thing in programming in the last couple of years. It's one of that. So normally the code executes step by step, and normally it wouldn't make sense to go back, or how do you do that? So some geniuses working on Visual Studio did that at Microsoft. Okay, and you can manage your projects with ease. By with ease, I mean that it's nice. The interface is nice. It has a lot of options. Some of you may never see or never use, just like I did. I just set it up once, and I didn't know, like, to know everything there is to know about Visual Studio. You have to be really, really crazy guy, and your place is probably not here. And yeah, sorry. Yes, they well, yeah. When you think about it, but I was talking about using and not developing. So you're really trying to catch the correct word that I'm making a mistake on. But yeah, I am paying attention for you. So yeah, I said using and not developing. So yeah, okay. And this is pretty much the whole lecture. I didn't know this game, so yesterday some people told me that well, not that I'm really bad, but how can I not know this game? Do you know this game? Does everyone know this game? Okay, then I'm sorry. I'll just walk out of the room then. Okay, so yes, before the demo, let me just. Okay, so yeah, this is the one of the last slides, and we'll start with the demo. So Visual Studio, you have an icon that looks like this. You start it. Yes, and you will get something like this. On my lecture yesterday, I was told that this thing expired, which was really weird because this is just a preview, but today it works, so hopefully, yeah. So what do you do when you get a new type of software? You would like to fiddle around with it, see how it works, but mostly you would like to make a new file or a new project or whatever it is, the software that you're using. So this is what I'll be doing now. File, new, and then you go to project. Under C#, there is console application. This is what we'll be doing for the first two courses. So only console applications. You wouldn't need to touch anything else, but if you want, you can make store apps, Windows desktop, web apps, Office, SharePoint, so on. You can use Visual Basic as a language, Visual C++, Visual F#. Does anyone know what F# is? F#. It's what? I don't know actually whether it's that. It's a language. I can tell you what I know. I was looking at it briefly. It's a language which helps you write mathematical or financial programs. So it's more like a functional programming rather than an objective one. That's not, my kind of understanding. And when I was looking at it, because I was studying maths in the UK, the way you write the code is with words, so like CoffeeScript or similar, and it looks very much like maths. I mean, the words that you use, the way you structure your coding, it looks like maths. Yeah, just I wanted to know because it's not that popular. Okay, so JavaScript and then TypeScript. So in the future, we'll be doing this. In the fourth course, we'll be doing this. And if you have Windows 7 and you install Visual Studio 2.13 or 2.15, this is not gonna work for you for some reason. I don't know, some weird reason. But yeah, so Visual Studio, and when you click there, console application, or you can simply just put here console, and it should get there somewhere. So C#, is it this one? Yes, it is this one. Okay, so when you're naming your programs or projects, always use meaningful, titles. So it's never allowed, especially here, to just write console application 4 or test 1 or something like that. So always have a good name for your tasks or problems which are descriptive. So it's not good enough when you have the homework to just write problem 1, problem 2, problem 3, and so on. When the person checking your when there is a person checking your homework, they will need to know what problem are you solving. So for example, you can do problem 1 dot or dash or space or anything. Problem 1 print name or something like that, just some meaningful name that you can do. So right now I'll be doing introduction to programming demo. Okay, I think that's a fine name, and everyone who will see it from now on, they will know what this file is, what this folder is about. Let's click OK and see what happens. This computer is not one of the fastest ones, but I hope that we are not going away. Okay, there we go. Is this fine or is it too big? How does that look? Yes, you're on the first row, so you're always the first one to say. How is it at the back? Is it good? Okay, so this is what you see. For now, some of you may have no idea what this is. Don't worry, we'll explain it step by step. So first of all, on the right here, this is our project. It has many different things, but what we are seeing right now, this is the program.cs. And what did we say? We don't want any generic names or anything like that. So let's just call this program.cs, intro to programming. Okay, it asks me whether I want to change this class program thing, so I click yes, and it should change it automatically for me. Yes, there we go. So what is going on here? You have some brackets, you have some usings up there. What are they all for? So first of all, for this course at least, there will be a couple of things to delete, some things that we do not need. So as soon as you make a new project, a couple of things that you will have to delete. So this thing, the arguments here, you don't need them, you can delete them. This namespace here, you don't need them because your projects will be short. Okay, and now these things here, using system.collections and so on, this is the libraries that you'll be using within your code, and we are going to be only using this one. But even if I don't have it, Visual Studio is smart enough to tell me to add it. We'll see how we do that a bit later on. Okay, and now we have some empty spaces that we do not need, and this one, as you can see, is indented to the right. So I select it all and I press Shift and Tab, and it's pretty much done. Shift plus Tab. Okay, yes, even the experienced ones are learning something today. So okay, so using system is the library that we'll be using. Class intro to programming, for now, for you, it doesn't mean absolutely anything. And the thing that we'll be writing in is this thing called static void main. This is the entry point of your program, and this is where we'll be writing all of our code for the first course. Yeah. So you can see some brackets here. So this bracket, let me just test this. So you have a bracket on top, this one, and then you have a bracket at the bottom, this one. So you can see that they're one under the other, which means that they're surrounding something, like any type of bracket that you've seen. It kind of surrounds something. It surrounds a part of your code, or in other words, a block. So this class, Intro to Programming, which you are not concerned with right now, surrounds or is outside this whole code inside this thing here. Okay? Yeah, and where we are going to be writing our code is inside this static void main. If you're interested in what that is, it's called a method. In other languages, it's called a function. You may have heard of it as a function. I come from C and Turbo Pascal, or just Pascal, so we used to call it a function there, but method is how it's called for C#. Another thing that you should notice is that everything is indented precisely one tab to the right of the brackets which are surrounding it, meaning this line here, so let me just do that again, these brackets are furthest on the left as possible because they are the first ones that we see, everything else which is inside them has to be indented with one tab on the right, so somewhere around there. Okay, and we are going to be writing our code inside here, which means that I have to be one tab even further. This way your code is a lot more easy to read, and yes. Yes. Yes, you have to. These do not come from, you know, your own opinions or anything like that. This is a specification that comes with the language and with Microsoft. So everyone that you see writing C# are gonna be using this. I've seen other ways to tidy up your code, and I've used some of them with C and Pascal and JavaScript as well. JavaScript is a bit more different, but when you code in C#, then this is the thing, and yeah, sorry, you have to follow it. Okay, so so when I press enter so that I get some space to write in, you can see that my cursor automatically gets to the place where I want to be. Hence, you have to follow this. Some person made this easy for you so that you know you can follow along and do as yes. Yes, it is. It's true. But if you go into specification or style cop or any sort of how to write your code to look better for C#, this is what you will get. Okay, so this is where we are going to be writing our code, and as we said, we are going to be doing console application. So let's see what the console has. So I'll just type in console in here, and to see what the console has, I have to put a dot. It's like giving a web address, not that similar, but imagine this for now. If I want to see what the console has, I have to put a dot. So inside here, it hid for some reason. Let me try that again. Yeah, so here are some properties that you see of the console, properties and methods. If these don't speak anything to you for now, just imagine features that the console has. So let's have a look. If we want to write something on the console, or print or anything like that, it should be around here somewhere, right? So let's have a look. Background color, be buffer, clear, nothing of interest, nothing of interest. Unfortunately, as it's at the very bottom, so there you go, write, console.write, and here you get some explanation of what it actually does. So it's a bit hard to zoom with this thing. And there you see so writes the text representation of the specified object to the standard output stream using the specified format information. This is very long for just write stuff on the console. Okay, so I can type it in, write line, put the brackets, and put a semicolon at the end, so everything inside the brackets is what's going to appear on the console. I can do something else. I could just print con, and this great feature invention called IntelliSense appears, and I can just type enter. You get the console, then I print the dot, I print WR, and then press enter, and you're very, very good to go. It's very easy. I have another cheat for you. If you just type in CW and then tap, bam, it's magic. So let's do that again, just because it's cool. Right. You have similar for for. You have similar for, yeah, this is amazing, I know. You have similar for if. You have similar for constructor, those of you who know object-oriented programming. So I think it was CTOR, and you get your constructor as well. So yeah, amazing stuff. So just a little bit of the magic. Right, so inside we want to print something on the console. So let's just start. What can we print? We can try to print a number. What's going to happen? We have to wait, as it's starting for the first time, but yeah, there you go. So we got a 5, so it's the same thing. Okay, then can we do expressions here? Something like 5 plus 7. Let's see. This didn't work. Let's do it again. So yeah, 12. 5 plus 7 is 12. What else can we try? Can we do decimals? Let's see. Control 5. Yes, it works. So 12.4 is good. Anything else that you want to try with numbers? Yes. Not with numbers. Okay. So what else can we try? Can we do 2 to the power 10? What's your opinion? No? And we got an error at the bottom which says something. Oh yeah, bracket, sorry, yeah. So this is the error, but yeah. Can we do this now? 8. Wow, that's weird because it's, you know, it's not 8. Okay, so something else needs to be done here, but we will talk about it in a minute. So, right, so raising to a power does not work. Plus works. Does multiplication work? 2 times, and that's 20, so yeah, good. Yes. Yes, I'll talk about it a bit later on. Spoiler alert. So, okay, multiplication works. How about division? Most of you probably know this already, but what is the result of this? Sorry? 5.6. Sorry, did you say 1.66? Any other takers? It's just 1. It depends. It's just 1. So what this thing gives is the remainder of dividing 5 by 3, or sorry, this thing specifically gives you the integer part of dividing 5 by 3. So okay, so here is the time to, you know, make a little pause because there was something that I wanted to do that I'm not doing now, which is commenting. So this demo is going to be online, and I want to be, you know, as full and concise as possible. So right, so there is a thing called in there is a thing in C# and Visual Studio called commenting, and it's available in most languages. So commenting, you either do it with 2 slashes. And you can write on a single line, or you can comment a whole portion with, you know, with the star. Why is it not working? Yeah, so everything inside here, it's a comment. It's skipped by the interpreter, and everything that I write here, you know, it's not going to matter to my code at all. So what I want to do is I want to put comments because they are really, really useful. And if someone is reading my code, this is a good way to explain them what we are doing. I mean, console.writeLine 5 divided by 3 does not need any explanation, but if you're just starting, it might. So this is dividing 5 by 3, and the result, sorry, no. This gives the result of dividing 5 by 3. I'll change that as well. This gives the integer part of dividing 5 by 3. This is because, so I'll just put that in here, because 5 equals 3 times 1 plus 2. And this is this 1 is your integer part, and this 2 is your remainder. So, you know, it's very confusing to some people because we're actually doing a division and I'm writing multiplication. Well, sorry to break it for you, division is actually multiplication. So, yeah, this is how you do it with the remainder. That's probably 4th grade now. It's been a long time. It's probably 4th grade, but yeah. So, what happens if I want to get the 2, which is the remainder of my division? Yes? Percentage. So, I'll make a new, let me put that. So if I want to select two lines like this, I have to press Alt and Shift, and then I can manipulate both of them. So I want to press Shift Tab because this is a comment. or I can just tap them again. Depends on how you want. I don't remember the convention for commenting, but I believe it should be on the same place as the code. So this gives, and what we're going to be writing below, this gives the remainder. Please do not confuse this with reminder, which reminds you of something. This is remainder when dividing. So this gives you the remainder of dividing 5 by 3. Console dot, sorry, I'm very sorry about this. So 5% 3. And we should be getting the 2 there. So Control F5. Control F5 compiles your code, so you should know that. I didn't mention it, so Control plus F5 is going to start your code, and you're going to see your result on the console. So you see the answer is 1 and then 2. So 1 was for the integer part and 2 was for the remainder. Okay, so we did division. What else is there? With numbers, not that much, but when we do how many other things are there that we wanna write on the console? Yes? Sorry? Writes 2 things without a new line. So there are 2 functions, console dot write and console dot write line. So write line means exactly what it spells. It gives you a new line at the end of the line. And write is gonna write those on the same line. So if I do, I'll just show this very quickly. So console.write and console.write there, we should be getting them on the same line. Yes, as you can see, 1 and 2. Most people use console.write line unless there is a better reason to do that. And of course, this thing is a lot quicker. So yeah. Okay, so what else can we put on the console? Words. Okay, so console dot. Right, so some text. If you want to put text, this thing is not going to work. You are going to get an error. Down here, you should be getting your errors. If you do not, then probably go to view and see this dialog there. So I'll just zoom that for you. Okay, the name ASDG does not exist in the current context. Means that I cannot print text this way. So I have to put, I forgot the word of this as well, parentheses. I forgot that yesterday as well. So you put parentheses around if you wanna put words in. So say Zariba Academy. Okay, let's see what happens. I guess we know what is gonna happen. We're gonna get it at the bottom. Okay, how about if I wanna put Zariba and then Academy on a new line? I can do /n. Okay, but I wanted to show that if you want to, you can do this, and it's gonna work because the empty console.write line gives you a new line. So I can do this as well. Which is gonna work, and this is first way for a new line, and then there is a second one, which is second way for a new line. Thank you. My code was gonna run anyway, but okay, thank you. So yeah, and then console.write line, Zariba, and then I want to put this weird symbol here, /n, which gives me a new line. I can put as many of these as I want, and it's gonna give me those new lines that I want. So Zariba, a couple of new lines, and then Academy. Otherwise, I would have to copy this many times, which looks very ugly. So yeah, this is a better way. So let's have a look. Okay, so the first way was Zariba and then Academy with a separate line between them, and the second one was with many lines, the ones that I put in. Okay, so okay, here is a tester for those of you who know everything and are already sleeping. So how do you make a beep sound with a similar expression to this one? With a similar expression to the one highlighted. Yeah, console.beep is gonna work. Let's say that it works this way. Can you imagine? No, it goes to the normal. So console.beep, and it will be very hard for you to hear, but I assure you it is there. So let me try to turn on. So listen carefully. Okay, we got it. Again, we got it. So yeah, console.beep. But yeah, I want it's not that useful, but it's a cool thing to have and to know. So make a beep. So one of the ways is console.beep. Okay. And the second one, which I'm just gonna comment that one because we don't need it for now. So console.writeLine there, and the identifier for that is /a. You can check what the other ones are doing, but yeah. So this is just this is the Windows sound. So they're a bit different. What happens if I do this 5 times? This is, a trick question. It's gonna be played once. Why? Okay, good. What happens if I do? Oh, sorry, forgot that. So, what happens if I do this? Probably still gonna play once, and you're correct. Okay, so how do I make this play 4 times? System pulls out. Is there such a thing? I don't know. System dot. Oh, it's in C++. Okay, so this is similar. To be honest, I don't remember how this was, or maybe I do. But what happens when you don't know when to do something? Google. Yes. Okay. You learned your most important lesson today. You don't need anything else from me. So yeah, we can all leave and go and have a beer. For those of you that have 18, the rest can drink like Coca-Cola or something else. So C#. How to pause a program. You have to see the thread comes up first, but let's see anyway. So sleep method pauses pause application for X milliseconds. How can I pause? So somewhere around here it should be there. Using system thread.sleep. So it's something there. So let me try and do that. Let's see what happens. So this is what we need. This is the line that we need. Thread.sleep. Here it says of 0, which means that it's not gonna sleep. But on the bottom here it says thread.sleep of 5,000, which means that it's gonna sleep for 5 seconds. Okay, so let me just put it. Yeah, just 1 second. So let me see how that thing works. So threading. Was it threading or thread? Thread.sleep. So not this one. Thread.sleep, and out of 5, let's make it a second, and let's try to compile. No, we have an error. The name thread does not exist in the current context. Yes, we don't have the library, so I knew this. Okay. I just wanted to show you that I hope this works. If I press Control dot, so if you're using something that you do not have the library for, let's remind you that the libraries are up here. If you're using some function that does not have the library for it, you don't have to go back here and type using system dot threading blah blah blah. So there is a nice and easy way to do this. So go on to the function that you know exists, press Control dot and press enter, and now it works. Magic. Yeah, it's really cool, I know. So it adds it automatically for you up here. And let's just delete that for a second just to read what the rest is. So so there, Control dot, it says using system.threading. It reminds you that this is probably the thing that you're after. Change thread to system.threading.thread. This is another way to do this. So I can write the full address. So we said this is like a web link, an arrow to a function that we use. So I can write the full address, which is system.threading.thread.sleep, or I can put this system.threading at the top as a using. If you find this hard to understand, it's okay. We'll be discussing this later. So Control dot, let's do it again just because it's cool. Enter, and voila, you're done. This does not work only with common types. Only with libraries from C#, but also if you write something of your own, like your own class, your own library or anything, it's gonna work as well, as long as you follow some guidelines. But we will talk about this later. So let's get back to our example, which is this, and let's see what happens. So I hope you can hear. And bam, 4 times it works. This line I'm showing in the first lecture because this will be used quite a lot when we make games. And changing the difficulty of a game can be as simple as, you know, this line of code. Instead of delay of 1 second, if it's a delay of you know, half a second or more, or less, then the game will be harder because it will play faster. So this is why I am putting this. Make a beep and delay execution of commands. Right. What else is there? I promised to talk a little bit about math. So console dot. Oh my God! It's no, it's an old habit. So I'll try to change it. So we wanted to raise a number to some power, and to do that we need a separate library called math. So let's put in math there. I mean, you would expect all of the mathematical functions like sine and cosine and so on to be in a separate library for these specific purposes. And if you just think this way and you don't know how's it called, because I don't know, you don't have to remember names or anything like that. You can either search Google or you can guess. So if it's a mathematical function, I would guess that it starts with something with math or something like that. So yeah, there it is. Then I press the dot to see what I have, and we have absolute value, arcus calls, a sine, a tan squared for some reason, big mole. I really don't know what that is, and I've graduated maths. I really want to see what that is. Produces the full product of 2. Okay, so this is similar to multiplication, but yeah, it's not interesting. Ceiling function, cos function, hyperbolic cosine. Does anyone know what hyperbolic cosine is? You can check Google, and it's going to be very boring, I assure you. So, okay then. So you're laughing at my jokes. I really enjoy that. So. Okay, we have log base 10, we have max, min, we have pi. So once you need pi, you know where to find it. It's a constant. So let's just try that first. Math.pi on the new line. We have some, and there is pi, or an approximation of pi, because you know pi is an irrational number, and yeah. Okay, so but what we wanted was to find the power of 5 by 3. So just by this keyword power, I can guess that it's gonna start with P, and there you go, pow. So let's just write what's there first. to see. So it takes, so this information here, I will try to zoom if Visual Studio allows me to do so. No, it doesn't. Okay, so we will count on your great eyesight to read that. So returns a specified number raised to the specified power, and what's in here in the brackets indicates that we need two numbers. Well, yes, we're taking one number, raising it to some power, so we should be expecting to give two numbers. So let's try that. 2 and to the power 7. How much is 2 to the power 7? 120. Let's check. 128. We are golden. Math class. I'll call it a class. Okay, what else is there? Does anyone think of anything that we should be also... Sorry? Square root. Okay, good. On the same line, console. Okay, I have had enough, so this means that my program is gonna skip this code. So console, and then again math dot. Do you know how sqrt? Okay, so bool value. So this is the square root, but if you want to do some other root, then maybe there is a function in there, and hint there is. So let's take the square root of any number. 49. So we should be expecting a 7, and there you go. The 7 is down here, down there. Okay. What happens if we give a number which is not a square? Let's see. Sorry, you said what? It gives the double. Does it give the float or the double? Let's check. So this is called typecasting. It's not hard. We'll be doing that next time. I just want to see. So this is the float and this is the double. Do you know what gives better approximation than double? Or it should. Well, it doesn't. We will be defining variables next time, and we'll see that we can get a lot more numbers out of that. Yeah, decimal is normally very cool. Float is not that cool. Double is a little bit better, but if you have the memory, use decimal. But that's for the lecture next time. Okay. What else? Oh yeah, there was one thing I wanted to show. So I'll write here, change the title of the console. So to do that, console dot title, of course, and so the above console dot writeline and beep, those were functions, and title is a property. For now, you don't need to know the difference. Just if it doesn't happen with equals, try with brackets, and one of them should work. So let's put some title. First of all, let me just to check what's it right now. Control F5. Right now it says C column the full path. Yeah. So Windows System 32 and so on. So I want to change that, and I want to make it look nice. Say you want to make a snake game and you don't want it showing your path to your snake game. You want to change the title. So console.title equals, and because it's a title, it's a string, it's a word, I have to put it in parentheses. I got it. So Zariba Academy demo. Let's see if that works. And bam, there you go. Okay, so enough tricks. Let's make something cooler. Do you know how to change, like a little bit cooler, but we'll be using this in games as well. So do you know how to change the color of a text? what would you guess? So console, clearly. Color. So let's see what happens. Okay, so I have background color and foreground color. Which one should I use? Foreground. Okay, so let's do that. And first, let's read what does this thing expect, because we want to know foreground color. We want to know how to use it, because I don't know any if these functions by heart, so I should know. So it says console color. Let me check if I can. Yay, it works. So console color, and then the method console.foreground color gets or sets the foreground color of the console. So this first thing in green is what the function expects, or so sorry, this is a property. Yes, so this is what type the property expects. So there must be somewhere in our C#, there must be a an object called console color. So let's do that. So equals console, and then you see it down there, console color there. So if I find the console color, come on. Sometimes the IntelliSense breaks, but we allow that because of this. I'm sorry, it didn't work. It didn't work now. Oh yeah, I got why. So console color and then dots, and there you go, a couple of colors. So what's your favorite color to the person who responds first? Blue. The guy there was first. So let's go with blue. And now that we've set it, we actually have to write something. So console. I can do it as fast as well. Almost. Okay, I can't, so I should just stick to the laziness. Okay, so console right line, and let's write Zariba Academy demo, because today this is what we are doing. Control 5, and there you go. Everything after that, it's in blue. Okay. What happens if I want to clear a part of the console? So let me just write that. Add a bit of sweet color. Okay, and what happens if I want to clear a part of the console, like delete it? Well, that's easy. I just use so clear a part of the console. Console dot, you would guess, clear. This is why this course is in English, because it's a lot easier. The words that I'm using are the words that you're actually typing, so it's a lot easier. You don't learn things by heart. So console.clear, this is a method, and now we should see the beeps, which are not getting, so these divisions and so on, they should not appear. And as you can see, we only get the last two ones there. I'll just comment that because it's not needed there. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the demo itself on the functionality and what you will need to do your homework. Now let's talk a little bit about the homework and how you present it and so on. So if I click on my project here, there should be somewhere around here to open folder, so right down there. So let's see the thing that we were just writing and coding. What does it give us? Okay, it gives us our CS file, which if I open with Notepad, it should be the same thing that I wrote. Okay, but this is not the only thing that's in there. You have a bin folder, you have an obj folder, you have properties and so on, some other files. If you go into bin, you get debug, and this is where you find the exe file, which if you start it independently, it's gonna start your code, but it closes straight up. So I here in my code, I did not say anywhere something like console hold screen or something like that. Yes. Yes, we can. That's for another lecture. Okay, but just so that you know, this file, the exe file, is the one for our code. And if you click it and you put some magical line, it's gonna stay. So this magical line is console dot why not use read key? Yeah, just to be different. Okay, and now if I have to compile it first, and then the exe file here should have changed, and you see it's gonna wait for a key, and once I press it, it's gonna go away. Okay, so to hold the console for the exe file. Okay, so for your homework, what do you need to do? So let me tidy up my code a bit. We don't want any unnecessarily new lines. So there should be an enter there. There should be an enter there, and that looks better. Okay. What you need to do for your homework, and it's gonna take us a while before we set up the whole system and so on. So you don't need to worry about that. The first homework will take you probably about 50 minutes at most. You have to go to File, New Project, and instead of doing a single console application, the thing that I did now, you have to type in blank solution. That's the thing down there. If I press OK, sorry, you have to always put a name. So to delete this demo solution later on. Okay, so okay, do you want to close this? Yes, why not? Okay, so this is the solution. This combines many different projects, and each problem that you solve is going to be a separate console application. So what you need to do here is add, right click, add, new project, and then choose your now C# console application problem 1. And since I told you not to leave it like that, let's do solve, no, find the meaning of life. Okay, so this is our first problem. Once we solve it, we can go on. Actually, I have an answer, and for 42, yeah. So you got me there. Okay, so this is your problem 1. Then right click, add, new project, and then problem 2. I don't know, wash hands. After you've solved the meaning of life, then you clearly have to feel good and wash yourself. So yeah, this is your second project, and once you have a couple of them, and you start say here I write console.writeLine done. We've done it. Oh, come on. And I press Control F5. This is not gonna work, and it says 42. So this means that the first project that you've created is highlighted. To change this, you can either go onto your problem, right click, and it's here somewhere, set a startup project, okay, or alternatively, I believe it was here from properties, and we are sleeping. So here it says single startup project on number 2 because we've selected it manually. But if you do current selection now and apply, now if I click here, it's gonna solve 42. If I click down here, it's gonna say done because we've washed our hands. Okay, what else? I cannot think of anything else right now. So this is the demo for today. Let's have a look a bit of the homework. The first 3 things: install what you need to install. I strongly suggest Windows 8.1 or 10. If you don't have the time, or you have lots of files on your C hard drive, then you can wait. But by the end of this course, if you're getting really far up to the 4th one, you will need to do this at some point. So then install Visual Studio 2.13 or 2.15. Earlier versions are gonna work, but it's always better to have the newer stuff, and especially if they're free now, why not? Google Drive, I talked about that. And then we actually start from number 4. So your solution should start with something like problem 4 blah blah blah, or 4 dots blah blah blah, and so on. I'll let you decide, but yeah. So create, compile, and run a Hello Zariba Academy console application. Then you have to print your name, email, age, and gender. I really want to stress, don't put this on a single project. Just make your homework properly. You know, we have to have different projects, and each one of them. This one will be available online to you. You don't really need to take a full photo of it. You already did. Yes, I saw that. So, okay, then print some numbers. 10 to the power 20 could be interesting, maybe not. Print sine of 200, cos of 200, and tan pi divided by 4. So this is gonna come from the math class. Then print 56 to the power 3. This one is easy. Print the remainder of 138 divided by 7. And the last one, I'll let you bash your head with it if you have never programmed before. Otherwise, it would not be that difficult. Again, references, some of the lectures, or at least some part of our lectures will be taken from Telerik Academy. So thanks for their lectures being available online and free to use. Any questions? No? Thank you for your time. Благодаря.